Hello, John. I'm actually delighted to be chatting with you in person. Award-winning writer, director, producer, editor. The list goes on. As I say, delighted to be chatting with you. How's life in LA?
Life is. I think we're going to get another storm coming in tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's been a whole change, and you really feel the global warming here because we have had. Well, let me see, hail, storms, sleet, rain. It's just incredible what's been happening. I can look at the foothills here in Burbank where it's never rains, right?
Yeah.
Or never snows, and it's all whitecaps.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
Strange. Well,
Yeah.
talking about sort of phenomenon. I can't say that word. Phenomenon. You know what I mean?
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. That's the one.
For English, you're supposed to be correcting me, pal.
Nah, not at all. But old mates having a chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sort of about using that word again. I won't use the word. But looking at COVID, the impact of COVID on the entertainment industry, has that had I can imagine a negative effect?
It has had an incredibly negative effect. Of course, you'd expect that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting thing: is I booked my TV series for Netflix, The Mom Don't Do That,
Yeah.
right, which is airing now. We're going to be going into season 2 soon, and I got that because of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they were originally going to go to Australia to shoot all the scenes that happened in Australia with the Aussie businessman that I play.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get there. They couldn't get there because of the quarantine. So they said, okay, we'll cast out of Hollywood.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And so I went to them instead of us going to, and then they doubled Taiwan Island as Australia.
Okay. I was going to ask you, were you traveling abroad during this time? Was that all purely your side of your part? Were they all filmed in LA?
Well, we shot entirely on the island of Taiwan.
Okay.
And Taiwan is not that big an island, and so we started at the northern part of Taiwan, which is Taipei, right? New
Yeah.
Taipei.
Yeah.
And just went south along the coast and then swung back on the western side and came back there. So I had a chance to circumnavigate the entire island, and they shot everywhere.
Yeah.
And they just did a hell of a job with the art style because you'd swear you were in Australia.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
movies? You've got a fantastic list of credits on IMDb. It goes on.
Yeah,
I think it's about
blessed.
three
I've been
pages.
blessed.
Scroll
Yeah,
down and down and carry on.
yeah, I know.
400 films, is it? Counting?
Between films, TV shows, yeah, commercials, yeah, at least 400.
That's incredible.
Eventually, Terry, you just lose track. You just don't. And I never thought that would happen. When I was very young, I was doing a talk show with Fred Olin Ray, who's one of my favorite directors. We've done like 25 films together,
Yeah.
and John Carradine.
Oh
And
yeah.
the
Yeah.
host, like yourself, was saying, "John, we really loved you in this movie and that movie." And John Carradine couldn't remember any of those movies that
Wow.
the host was introducing. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that's never going to happen to me.
Yeah.
After I've been around, I'll know every single film I make. No. You go
Yeah.
on IMDb and you
Yeah.
look at what is that? I don't remember that film. And then it has the character. Oh yeah, they changed the name. And they changed the name all the time.
Yeah. I just picked one out at random that I'm using as my background now.
Yeah.
Where is she now?
Yeah.
You won a ton of awards for directing this and for writing this.
Yeah, it's funny. Where is she now was my sort of, I guess you say, my homage to my students, because
Okay.
I've been teaching acting for film most of my adult life. I've always loved teaching, and I've always managed to balance the two.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I was teaching at the New York Film Academy, and when they became accredited, they needed a curriculum for acting for film specifically, because if you go to universities and you want to get an acting diploma, you got to take theater arts.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no such thing as an acting for film
Yeah.
degree. And so we created one at New York Film Academy, and I created the AFA, the Associate of Arts degree, the bachelor's degree, and the master's degree in that program.
Okay.
And now it is flourishing.
Yeah.
Now it is flourishing. The trouble we had is there just weren't enough teachers around who could teach it.
That surprises me.
No, because they can teach theory, but with the
practical experience.
NIFA wanted practitioners not there. And now more than ever, you need them, because the whole landscape of acting, particularly acting in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry, has changed completely.
Is this because of COVID?
Yes.
So what happens now is, do you create a demo reel? Is that how you get your sort of auditions?
Well, this is what happens. You know, they there are four main casting services
Yeah.
in Hollywood, right? There's Backstage, there's Actors Access, Casting Frontier, and Casting Network, and they kind of hold sway, and they have all of the breakdowns, the casting notices, right? And they publish them every day, and then we subscribe to them, and we just submit on our own, or our agents or managers submit on our behalf.
Yeah.
And that's how the industry has been working for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But now that COVID's come along, what they want you to do is to do the auditions in your own home with your own cameras. It used to be you go to studio. They say, okay, John, we got a Tuesday audition for you. It'll be over at the Santa Monica production offices. We'll see you there at 2:00. Okay. And you go in and you sign in, you meet a bunch of your old friends because everybody's, you know, it's the same, it's the usual suspects when you come to the same guy. If I don't get a Neil, I know you're going to get it. And that's what's sort of the relation. Yeah. And so that's how we would do it, which was so much easier. So it would take an hour out of your day at the most.
Yeah.
And well, now what it is they're calling us directly and they're asking us to create our own auditions right here in our living rooms. And that's what we're doing. Yeah. But it's wrong for so many reasons. It's wrong. And for the main reason is you don't have the contact with the, like if you were a casting director, and you were casting me now, we have a rapport.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
But you take this away and I'm just another guy on the list. And so the trouble is as these casting notices come out and the actors take them and they do their self auditions and send them in, you're becoming inundated with all of these people that are sending in all our, and they don't bother to say in the casting notices, just send your resume and your demo reel. Yeah. And then at that point, separate the wheat from the chaff and then invite you in because you're qualified. No, they don't. What they do is say, we want a pre-screen audition. So now everybody, whether they're suitable for the role or not, are doing their own self auditions and sending them in. Now, if you're a professional actor and you're working all the time, you can't sit here and wait for those notices to come in because you're on set.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get home at night and you submit, and then you never hear from them. And the reason you never hear from them is because by the time you submitted, they already had 1,500 taped submissions.
Yeah.
Because actors who are just starting out have nothing but time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's become a real messed up situation now. And then they ask also for extensive direction. And they'll say, here, do these 3 scenes. I had an audition last week. 18 pages they gave me. 3 scenes, 18 pages.
I'd say you think 18 minutes of film?
Yeah.
18 pages?
Yeah. 3 scenes. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, I have to memorize 18 pages for an audition. Not for a job, for an audition, right? Yeah. So I got it down. You know, I went in for the audition, and they wound up only doing 1 of the scenes.
Okay, that's a complete waste of time.
So nobody really has respect for your time.
Yeah,
they just assume that you want. They assume that, hey, I got a job. Who wants a job? Don't tell me you don't have time. I have a job.
Yeah.
And so they can only see their perspective. They never see ours.
Yeah.
And so that's the most frustrating part of it. Is sometimes you knock out a self audition that relies on other people to be in there. Yeah. Sometimes these casting directors will say, "Oh, and you must have a reader with you."
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, hold on. You want me to memorize 18 pages? You want me to have my own reader? Who's paying for all this?
Yeah, yeah, and your own time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to do it for my friends. God love you, but I wouldn't ask you to do it any more than I'd want you to do it for me. Yeah. And so they're just taking advantage of us. Yeah. And there's no professional courtesy whatsoever if you're a union actor. And they'll even come down and they'll tell you exactly how they want the audition staged and how they want it done. And so if you don't have a person to play off of you, then they say, well, do a Zoom like this and have them play off of you. But again, you're taking up their time.
Yeah.
What do you think? Now, it used to be when you go to these studios, the casting director was there. Their assistant was out there at the front to sign you in and greet you and give you whatever information they needed. Then inside, they had a reader right by camera. They had a photographer or cameraman shooting it and the casting director. So you had all those things that they provided. Yeah. Already lit, it's already lighted, so I don't have to do anything. I just show up, right? Yeah. They provided all those things. Now they don't give you anything. You got to be at home doing it on your own. And then they have the balls to tell you how you should shoot it. They'll say, oh, no vertical, only horizontal. Okay. Any professional knows horizontal. They shouldn't tell them no vertical. They should test there. Are you a professional? Hey, send me in your audition. And when I see it in a vertical, I know you're not a pro. But they tell everybody. So they're basically guiding them. So everybody's doing it based on their little format. And it's just nuts. It's just nuts. And the Screen Actors Guild won't do anything about it.
Why?
They won't.
Why is that?
Well, because it's not an issue that they recognize as yet. Because again, they're in office and they're not out in the field like we are.
Okay, I can imagine that would be like, for instance, you've got the adrenaline running. If you're on screen, on the studio, if you're there on your own, that's got to be hard to recreate and for you to get into character for whatever role you're auditioning for.
Well, if you're a professional, you can do it. But here's the biggest problem, Terry. The biggest problem is this. Because you never meet them and you never have their rapport, you never get an adjustment. So the amateurs that are doing this are thinking, I love this. Because that means I can do as many takes as I want and only send a take that I like.
Yeah, true,
okay. But if you're on a movie set and you had to blow a lot of takes, they wouldn't want you. So that doesn't test at all your ability to hit the mark when they say action. So that doesn't apply. But the biggest problem there is, okay, so you wound up sending in the one that you like best. But meanwhile, how do you know that's the one that they wanted? How do you know that your choice is right? Because you see, in this business, we are rewarded for our choices. Now, what if you and I were up for the same role and you made the right choice, but I'm a better actor for it or the right actor for it, but I didn't make the right choice? The casting director should say, you know what? Do this. Do what Terry did. Do this. And if I do that, then you get the role because they will help you because they want you to look good for them. And so they're there to help you. But now we're out on our own. So our batting average is much lower. I average usually whenever I do auditions, I book it around 1 in 3, at least 1 in 3. And you never think about it because either you were right for it or you weren't. You can never guess. You can't second guess if it's right. Actors always talk about, I did my best audition looking in my rear view mirror as I was driving home because you can't let it go.
That's an incredible change then in the industry.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's no way around it. And right now I'm working full time, Terry, in my living room doing these goddamn self auditions every single day, not just Monday through Friday, because they come all night long. It used to be the breakdowns ended at 5 p.m. and you go home. Well, now they're 24 hours. So if some independent filmmaker wants to do a casting notice at 3 a.m., that's okay. Meanwhile, I wake up at 8 a.m. How many people have already submitted?
You're behind the line.
So you get your point where you're handicapped enough by age. You don't need to be handicapped by the situation. Anyway, so let's get off of that topic.
That's an eye opener. That certainly is.
Well, pass the word, pal.
Will do. Certainly will. Yeah.
People need to know about it.
Okay. We mentioned before about the award-winning background that I'm using. Where is she now? You've won so many awards. Is there any that stand out for you that you're most proud of, or is your latest award? Is that the most precious?
Well, I mean, Where Is She Now is a pet project because what happened when I left the New York Film Academy, I wanted to really spend more time making films of my own. That I thought, I've got 3,000 students throughout the world. I want to go and make movies with them, and that's what we did. This basically is a new genre documentary where all of my students play themselves, but in theatrical narrative situations, right? And it just was such a whole different genre, and the festivals loved it. And the fact that I could take that and take my students as well, and take all these students in these countries that didn't have an entertainment industry. You come from Finland. You come from anywhere in Scandinavia, they don't have a film industry. And they come here, they spend all this money, they have this degree, they get to work on the back lot at Universal Studios, they're ready. And then they go back home and there's no industry. And they give up. And so what I try to do is reach out to them and say, hey, look, this is you, me, we have a camera, we have a store, we're making a movie. Yes, you can make movies, and no, you don't need an industry to do it. And that was a message that I wanted to deliver them. And now they're making their own films.
Brilliant.
They just needed to be taught that because
Yeah.
that's something we didn't teach in school
Yeah.
because things have changed since then.
Okay. I watched one that you sent me a link to, Still Hunting with your pal with Alex Crawford. I know
Yes.
I've said hello to him on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you
That
for
that
that.
that
He's
was
a great guy.
it looks like that I really enjoyed that. It had it was a short film, but
Yeah.
everything about it was professional. The quality, the picture quality, the acting itself, the direction, the dialogue.
Yeah. Well, I love doing shorts, Terry, because
Yeah.
you know you can get in and out fast. So you're shooting a
Ah,
week, sometimes shooting a few days.
yeah.
That one we shot longer because we were shooting nights,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, yeah,
So much of it. But no, I love working that way. And then you can move on. That's how you can do more product, more volume.
yeah, yeah,
Say, gee, you did 400 films. Yeah, yeah. But probably 100 of those are short films.
yeah. This is a relatively new output from the industry. I know a couple of years ago, the BBC here in the UK, they ran a competition for short films, 5 minute short films made by amateurs, just to sort of get the name out there into the
Right,
industry.
right.
But is a market for the short films, apart
Well,
from the
that's interesting.
festivals?
But once again, festivals have resurrected
Ah,
short films,
yeah,
right? They recognize them, they give awards for them. And so you can literally walk away from a festival as a critically acclaimed award winning filmmaker with only one film. So,
yeah.
of course, you're going to make short films.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, a lot of these students, you know, they've graduated film school. They've spent, you know, a couple of 100,000 maybe, depending on which school they went to, you know, at least 120,000. And
Yeah,
so they have these big student loans and they don't have the wherewithal to make a feature film.
yeah,
They want to keep making product.
yeah, yeah.
So they do shorts and they say, okay, we need, you know, basically they say, okay, what do we have? Okay, well, we have this location, that location, those locations are free. We have these vehicles, these actors. What can we make?
Who owns the kit that's used? It looks like professional cameras, professional lighting, professional sound quality.
Well, yeah, I always use that. In fact, the cameras that I used for Where Is She Now and the spin-off TV series Where Are We Now is the same camera I use. However,
Oh,
now I'm using my iPhone mainly for these self auditions because it's you know well yeah it's 5G, you know,
yeah,
it's high
that's true.
def
Yeah, yeah,
and it's so quick and easy to deal with. So you just put it on your right there on your laptop and
yeah.
attach it and get your angles and play with your light. And the light that you know everybody's got these crazy old ring lights,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? Typical thing, and you clamp it there, and you're ready to rock and roll. And you know, and you can change the tone of the light, and you know, it's
yeah.
really a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing, and it's smart because you learn so much about lighting when you're doing these that when you get on a movie set, you're um, very conscious of where your key light is.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's. I mean, there's some benefit to being able to do this, but to an old pro like me who's been doing it all his life,
Yeah.
no, it's of no benefit. It's better for me just to come in and see you. Like I don't know
Okay.
why they don't all do Zoom. The reason they don't do Zoom auditions is because they can only do maybe, you know, 10, 15, maybe 12 people a day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, an hour. I mean, so they really can't get that many.
Mm, mm.
So let us do it, and then they could just sit there and just reap the benefits. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I can see it looks a bit one-sided to me. Yeah.
that's no. The Romans and the Christians, and here we are with the Christians.
John, you've got several different hats that you wear. I mentioned before: actor, director, editor, producer, cameraman, screenwriter. Do you prefer a role behind the camera, or are you more comfortable acting in front of the camera?
You know, for me, it's kind of a triumvirate. It's the acting, the directing, and the teaching. Is each one of those disciplines informs the other and improves the other.
Okay.
So, as a teacher, I find myself just in observing everything students do and giving them comprehensive feedback helps me pinpoint criticism
Yeah.
as well as self criticism. So,
Yeah.
it helps me to make adjustments much easier. And one does definitely help the other. Directing helps your acting, acting helps your directing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a wonderful feat. And all these, you know, Terry, these are profit centers.
Yeah.
That's all they are. They're profit centers. They're different places for you to make money on your God-given gifts.
How do they make money from the short? This sounds a bit naive from me, and apologies. How do they make money? Is it winning a prize? Is it at festivals? Is it
Well, you're talking about
advertising?
the film from. I mean, how does the filmmaker make money?
Yeah, yeah.
Or how does the actor make money?
But both really. With the short films as well. Are they profitable?
Well, yeah, they are profitable. Usually they go into a package. Like if you want to do a series of horror shorts, and they want 2 hours worth of entertainment, maybe they have 5, 6, 7 short films, and yours becomes a part of that package. That package goes to Netflix or to Amazon or one of the others, and then bam, you get your percentage from that.
Okay.
But I also remember that with a short film, you don't have that much money in it. So it doesn't take as long to make profit.
True.
And
Yeah.
so if you want to demonstrate to a potential investor that has more money, hey, look, give me 50,000, I will show you what I can do. And you will walk away as an award-winning film producer. And so that's why the festivals are so beneficial.
Okay, I can see the benefits from that.
Yeah. Like for instance, this one I just picked up a short while ago, right?
Yeah.
And this is for a movie that I made that I was in called Grandpa the Horror.
Yeah.
And it's won a couple dozen awards, and I've won, I think, 3 or 4 Best Actor awards for this, right?
Brilliant.
And, it's a real thing, and they
it's beautiful statue.
Yeah, and this was at the Studio City International Film Festival, right? And so you get a chance to sit there in the theater and you watch yourself on the big screen. It's really a great way to to get more work, because the filmmakers that have films there are now working on their next films, and they're looking for talent.
Yeah.
So festivals are really a smart thing for actors to invest in. Get more involved in film festival films. Yeah. It's PR.
True. Yeah. Changing the subject slightly, we connected through an introduction from the beautiful multilingual actress and model Sabine Roquach. After I saw you in a part on Sabine's demo reel, how did you two get together? Was this on a short film?
Well, I met her through, through one of my students, Natalie Lamprecht, who is a filmmaker in Switzerland. In fact, she and I made a film last year in London. We spent about 2 months shooting there, and it's great to stay in touch with them. And that's how I met her. And she was very interested in the concept behind Where Is She Now? She saw it. And she wanted to become involved. And I said, okay, listen, come to Berlin, because we're up for awards at Berlin. Come to the Berlin Film Festival. And she came to the Berlin Film Festival. It was all sold out at the hotel. No place for her to stay. And so she was going to stay with Natalie, and Natalie was caught. She didn't get there in time. So I offered, I said, okay, look, I have a big enough, hotel room. You can have the bedroom, and I'll sleep out here on the sofa, or you can have the sofa. And so we wound up spending the night together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't romantic, but it was romantic in that it all sort of fell into a perfect storytelling, mode, because we wound up winning, two awards that night. And she was there, and they took pictures of us, and people wondered what was going on. And then here we are in the film, when we do play romantic attractions.
Lange zusammen warst, dann im Laufe der Zeit verändert sich die Beziehung. Du hast so viel zusammen erlebt, so viel zusammen durchgemacht. Und dann triffst du jemanden. Und das haut dich einfach total um. Ehe du dich versiehst, du kommst einfach nicht dran vorbei. Boom, da ist es. Ein einziger Augenblick, Maxi. Und alles ist anders. Du verstehst das, hm? John.
Yeah.
John, you don't need to sleep on the sofa bed. There's plenty of room here. It's like 2 twin beds pushed together. If you're game.
Well, I'm nothing if not game.
Show, right?
Yeah.
And so she's just been wonderful, just a wonderful, wonderful helpmate regarding this. And she's so charming, so multi-talented. She was able to do her German dialect and her German the speaking voice as well as French. And she's just terrific. And the camera loves her.
Yeah.
The camera loves her.
She's beautiful.
And so for my love interest in the show, it just was wonderful. It was perfect.
And the clip I saw, I think Sabine, she's offering you to stay in her bedroom, and I don't know if it's in a hotel. And she says, I think, are you game? You say you give it a look and say, yeah, I'm still game.
Nothing if I'm not game. Now, that was based on the true story of our night.
That makes it a better story now. Yeah.
So that's why a documentary is always based on real events.
Yeah.
It's a documentary, but it has the structure of a mystery, like a good Agatha Christie. I mean, look, where is she now? That's a mystery.
Yeah.
Where are we now? That's a mystery. So that sort of was the fun, and we're looking forward to doing more episodes as well.
Yeah, I'd look forward to seeing you in that.
Yeah,
John, can I ask, is there a role that you've always wanted to play? Maybe something from the stage or in a film, a particular character, a Shakespearean play, perhaps, or?
Well, I did play in The Music Man. The Music Man is such a great character, because it's not so much of a singing lead, it's a talk singing lead, and it's a great role. And I had a chance to do it several years ago, and that was what I wanted really more than anything else. So I was glad. There's nothing that has slipped by that I didn't get, because things like that are shrouded in regrets, and you don't want regrets.
True.
There's no use. You mentioned the Jonathan Bank kind of roles. He does a great job of playing those characters. I do find this, Terry, as I get older and I have grandkids and all that, I'm more concerned about leaving a kind of a legacy of films that they would want to see and they would want their kids to see.
Yeah.
So I've done my share of erotic thrillers and, playing bad guys and, monstrous characters. And I just don't really play them that much unless the script's just so damn good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
The singing, man, were you doing like a Lee Marvin type of talking singing? Wandering Star, his gruff voice.
Well, yeah. That was like a 3-note song that nobody can read.
It was number one here in the UK. Number one selling record in the UK at the time.
Sure. No, Music Man was, it was talk singing. Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you're unaware of a caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool hall in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here, you got trouble right here in River City. It goes on and on and on. But it's a talk song. It's a lot of fun. Hugh Jackman is doing it on Broadway right now.
Oh, yeah. I never knew well until I just saw him as an actor. I didn't realize that he had a voice.
Yeah,
that was his background. Yeah.
Great in Oklahoma. Yeah.
There was a great. I think one time he hosted the Oscars and he did like a clip of all his different film roles he'd been in. That was just superb reel.
Yeah.
John,
he's very American. You can play American. You can change the accent.
The Australian, I think, a lot. Well, likes of Russell Crowe. It's an interchangeable accent, isn't it? The Australian and American.
Yes. Evidently, it's harder for, I think, Americans to do Aussie than Aussie to do Americans.
Yeah. Have you played with a strong English accent in any of your roles?
Yes, I love doing English, various English, Mid-Atlantic. But of course, that was more of a, more of a, I've done Liverpudlian, but
Scouser.
I enjoyed doing the Aussie.
Yeah.
Because it changes everything about you.
Yeah.
You talk with that flat Aussie accent, and then it changes your parts, changes everything changes. That was a ball doing that,
Yeah.
But sometimes it would sound a little bit Cockney because it did have Cockney.
Yeah.
Cockney there,
I always find when I listen to an Australian, there's a lift at the end of whatever they're saying. It lifts up at the end as though they're asking a question.
Well, and
making a statement.
Well, I'm wondering if that isn't part of the Irish influence.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
The Irish would say, I remember doing this play recently where he says, well, I thought you had some learning.
Yeah.
Always goes up at the end,
Oh, yeah. What's your next project? Do you know? Are you waiting? Have you sent these?
Here's the funny thing. I have 4 films, but none of them have exact start dates yet.
Yeah.
And they're all starting around the end of March and early April. So I'm waiting, guys, tell me, because I have all I've got to see if I can juggle them all, if they're all going to fit.
Yeah.
And they're all features. They're all feature films, right? And I was interesting sidebar, and maybe we'll talk about this next time, is a year ago in March, I was scheduled to go to the Ukraine.
Whoa.
Help them.
A year ago, almost exactly to a day when the war started.
Yeah, just a few days
It's
before.
not a war, it's an invasion. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. A few days before, and I had my visa, I had my airfare, all my tickets, and I was ready to rock. And it was real letdown, of course. But we were going to open. President Zelensky invested a big piece of land, and he wanted to create a studio there.
Yeah.
And they talked to me because I've been doing this. I went to the Paris Film Academy, and I went to the Del York Creative Academy in Nigeria to work with Nollywood actors, and I went to Mumbai to work with Indian actors, and so I've made my course universal.
Yeah.
So I said, what you need to do is you need to open a school and a studio, so you can create your own style of filmmaking, train people within your country, and then you have a force to be reckoned with. Then Hollywood will come, and they won't just rent your studio.
Yeah.
They'll come here because they want to contribute as well. And then when they leave, you're not sitting around like in Istanbul and in Prague. They have all these rental facilities, but when the studios leave, they're closed up. They don't make it.
Yeah.
They don't know how.
Yeah.
So I said, to President Zelensky, you don't want that to happen. So it was agreed that we would come and we would start this studio, we'd start the school and all that. And I was ready to go in there for 6 months. And now who knows?
Wow.
Who knows if it will ever happen?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not exactly a priority in Ukraine. God bless them.
Yeah. That's awful. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, this all ends soon, and you get back to that.
Yeah. Please find normalcy again. That's all.
Yeah.
All we want.
Touch wood. Yeah. Oh. But John, it's been absolutely light chatting with you. I could easily chat with you for hours on end, but time's caught up with us. So for now, if I can say thank you very much, and let's keep in touch.
Yes, please do. All right.
Yeah.
And anytime you want to chat, you know where I am.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, John.